It's time to talk about Middle Tennessee Christian School sports. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Each week we sit down with the coaches to recap the latest games and preview what's ahead. It's time to talk about the orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner, right here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay tuned, the show is coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance are the leading experts in sports medicine and performance and the team physicians for NFL, college, and high school athletes across Tennessee. TOA offers same-day appointments, walk-ins, and urgent care for acute orthopedic injuries that can't wait. TOA is proud to support Rutherford County high school athletes. Having a specialized care team you trust can make all the difference in your athletic journey. To find a TOA location near you, visit TOA.com.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
We're back for MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance and fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSports.com, and Big G TV.
And we welcome you to MTCS Cougar Corner. I'm John Dinkins here for the first time getting to talk to head coach Christian Peterson of the Cougars, and we welcome you aboard. And going to talk here a little football with you and some other things. You've become kind of a all-knowing guy. You're kind of helping with the broadcast. It wasn't a good night for the Cougars. It was just I guess we don't mix words. We just go right at it. But it was not a good night. 41-0, and I think I was surprised. I think maybe a lot of people were surprised, but I think you were surprised as well.
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't execute. I mean, plain and simple. Grace is a good football team, and we gave them too much. And really they had two drives offensively that led in scores. There were things that we really hadn't screwed up, all year that we screwed up on Friday, and it was a culmination of a bunch of different things. Offensively, special teams, like nobody really executed. We had some plays that were there that we didn't take, and there were some plays that were there and we'd blocked the wrong way, and it was just one of those deals where it just kind of snowballed. We had talked about it. We didn't have a great week of practice. I think, the youth kind of reared its head a little bit, and, we win game one. That was a really good win that I thought we executed well and did a lot of really good things. And I think there was kind of that assumption that was just how we were going to play. And, I think it's a good reminder to our guys that what's already happened doesn't matter anymore, right?
Yeah.
You got to go prepare for the next one. And, I think I still think we're a really good football team. I don't think Friday night is an indication of what we're going to be, right? I think there's still a lot of things. I sat down in my office last night and watched the whole game, and there's a whole lot of plays there that are there that we just got to go and execute.
Did you know, like, when you had a bad week of practice, and coaches know when practices are not going well, did you have a feeling going in that it might rear its ugly head last night?
I mean, I hope not.
Yeah.
But I talked about it with the team on Thursday. Where it was guys like we're not doing what we need to do to prepare. Like we are walking around like we just know what we're doing and we're going to be fine. And like you've got to create that muscle memory Monday through Thursday. And I think our kids, in the locker room after the game, talking with them, I think we're going to handle it the right way. We're going to come back next week. We have an open week, which really falls at a good time for us. We're going to be able to go back and look at the things that we didn't execute on and, the things that we did execute on, and let's build on it. Let's fix those mistakes. We get 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We get a full week to just kind of reset, and then we get back into a game week. And we got to prepare the right way. We got to prepare like we did for game one. If we prepare like we did for game one, we're going to be just fine. And so, again, we had moments of, all right, there it is. It's a 14-0 game at halftime. And defensively, we had given up 1 score. And so, if we just execute, we'll be okay. But we can't line up wrong. We can't have the wrong tags called. We can't, we can't have to take timeouts. Like we can't have penalties. In the first half, we drove the ball a little bit, moving the ball, and then, back-to-back penalties. Next thing you know, it's 1st and 15 or 1st and 20. And, we just aren't built to convert those.
Yeah.
We gotta keep ourselves out of the hole, and a lot of it was we'd get ourselves in the wrong tag, and now we've put ourselves in a bad spot. Now we've got to hold, or we'd line up and we'd twitch, and now it's a false start. Now we're backing up. Like it was unforced errors.
Yeah.
And, a lot of self-inflicted injuries or self-inflicted issues that we caused ourselves. And, I think there's a pro and con to that, right? When it's self-inflicted, it's easy to fix. We can get in, we can work, and we can get it fixed. It wasn't that they just came out and were that much better than us. I'd play them again.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bob does a good job over there at Grace, and they were well coached, and they executed, and we didn't. And so, we have 2 weeks to go get it fixed.
When execution is not there, that's when that snowballing starts, isn't it? And then I think everybody starts looking around and, what's happened. But really, it all started for the self-inflicted wounds that they've given themselves, which it's a unique situation because a lot of these kids play defense too. And so it not only affects your offense, I guess it would affect your defense as well. I mean, you start getting in the brain, I've got to make this play, I've got to do this or whatever, and then things just really hit a wall.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think our defense played fine.
Yeah.
I thought they flew around. They made some tackles. Obviously Grace made some plays, right? Like they practice too, right? They have a good football team. But I thought our defense played well enough to keep us in the game offensively and special teams wise. We put them in some really bad spots. But again, like I think we got to that point where, it's a 14-0 game. Like just keep doing what we're doing and we're okay. And we're looking for home runs. Like every play became, I have to go be the one to go make a play. I gotta go score. And, once you start playing that way, you're going to make more and more and more mistakes. And right. It just kind of snowballed and we stopped doing what we did that makes us successful, Well,
we had a block punt. You had an interception. You had a fumble. That's 21 points right there. I mean, if you really take it, that they took advantage of is the problem too.
Yeah.
And you take those out, well, we got a whole different game we're looking at. It just in terms of what the score is about. But I guess now, Coach, we move on. I did want to mention Eric Bowling had 9 tackles, and Cooper Jones had 11 tackles. So they had a pretty good night defensively, but you've got to control the ball, and I guess time of possession is key too in a game like that.
Yeah. Again, I think it's just we've got to sustain drives, and we've got to be okay with 4 or 5 yard carries. Not every carry against a good team is gonna go to the house.
Yeah,
like they're going to do some things defensively, and they're going to try and they're not going to give up the big one, right? They're going to try and force you to move it, and you've got to be okay accepting that, like, all right, that's how they're playing us. Let's just take 4 or 5, and I think at times they're giving us 5 to 10, and we were trying to take 30, and so we only end up with 2 or 3 because now we didn't follow what would have just got us our 5 to 10. Everybody's a little bit banged up. There's no excuses there. We had guys banged up. I'm sure they had guys banged up. And you expect the guys to go in and execute. And I thought for the most part, I thought they played their tails off. We had some guys in some tough spots. We had some young guys in some tough spots, but I think I don't think last night was an indication of where our season is headed. Right? I think it's going to be a good learning experience. It's kind of what we talked about. Like, this is a really good opportunity for us to see. We practiced really well week 1 and we won a game. We practiced really poorly week 2 and we lost a game.
Yeah.
And so now where do we go from there? If we practice the right way the rest of the year, we're going to be just fine. But we've got to make sure we practice the right way.
Christian Peterson here on the MTCS Cougar Corner, head coach of the Cougars. And I think you kind of summed it up a little bit at the very beginning of the show when you said their youth kind of popped up again, because we got to remember we're talking still freshmen, sophomores, basically, majority, and it reared its ugly head, and they learned a lesson. And I think, are you glad that you have the extra week, or do you wish you could just play next week?
I think either one would have been good for us.
Yeah.
Right. Either get back into a game week or go. But we have an extra week, and so let's use it. Let's make sure. Let's get back into some of the teaching points that we would do in spring and in summer. Slow it down. Make sure we're coaching everything. Make sure they understand where the cutback lane is going to be. Make sure they understand where we're trying to hit it. There were plays that, A gap's there and we try and hit a B gap. And so, it's just consistency.
Yeah.
We run an ISO and we immediately take off outside. We run a counter and we get it blocked up, cutback lane's there, and we bounce it outside. I thought Kingston, played as hard as he could, quarterback spot. It's a tough spot for him.
Yeah.
He's a freshman. There's when Marlowe was a freshman last year, he had games like it as well. A lot of times, you ask a lot out of a quarterback to go in as a freshman to try and play well. He's going to have a lot of good football games for us in the future, right? Like, I pulled him aside last night and told him, like, listen, at the end of your career, no one's even going to remember this game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just keep working, keep getting better. You've got a lot of really good games ahead of you, right? It's a bad first game. It happens. Now, what matters is how do we prepare after this to go get ready?
And I think that's a great point. They're not going to remember anything about this game, and it's time to move on too. You learn from it, and then let's make practices great. How do you go about that? Do you give them a day off or two since it's a off week?
Yeah, we'll go Tuesday through Thursday next week. Normally in a bye week, we'd go Monday through Thursday. Not having school on Monday, I told them, take the extra day.
Yeah.
Get your mind right. Let's go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll treat it almost like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of a game week. And then they'll get Friday off. And then we'll kind of roll right back into game week. And then after that, we're in region play. Our next 3 games are region.
Yeah.
So I think, in that sense, it's a blessing that we're going to get a kind of an extra week just to regroup and get back to who we are in all 3 phases. And then get to go out and play. And, if you're going to have a learning experience game, let's have them in the non-region games, right? Let's have them in the games that don't affect the playoff seeding. And we get back on track, we're going to be just fine. I think we're still in a really good spot to compete in our region and compete for region championships and playoff seedings and everything else. And now it's just about handling it the right way.
Going in, you'll be going to Grace Baptist, I think, after the break. Very familiar foe as well.
Yeah, well, for MTCS, yes, I have not actually played them since I've been here. They have not been in our classification.
Yeah.
So this is their first year back. But the year before I got here, they were playing in the region. So I know there's a lot of history between the two schools. But as we kind of get into it, it's a new opponent for me. We have some guys that have been on staff when they used to play, so they kind of have an idea of what they've done in the past, and we'll dive into their film and see what they do well and what they don't do well, and then but really, I mean, our focus for the next week is just on us. What do we do well? What do we not do well? What do we have time to fix right now? And what needs to be something that we're going to need to spend a little bit extra time on to get it fixed.
You're kind of road warriors this year. I mean,
yeah, it's the first of many.
I know you've been asked this about the scheduling. Some of them, they canceled or canceled their program, one of the two. But that's a challenge for you. But I think that's something, again, another learning key for this group, still being young as they are, for the next 3 years or 2 years anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be on the road, but I think we've got a pretty solid plan. The good thing about it is it's not, yes, we have a lot of them this year, but we've always had at least one. We've always had one or two games that were far games, so it won't be a foreign concept to our kids. Obviously, we'll be back on September 19th at home, and then we're not home again until October 31st. So there's a large gap there in between home games. But we'll almost, I think, kind of get into a rhythm and get used to it. Every Friday is going to be a very similar schedule as we travel the state to play people, and so I think kind of as it goes, it's going to make it a lot easier.
I guess the learning curve, it never ends. I mean, learning the game and learning how to prepare for a game for kids, it never ends. I mean, you can even have seniors that will have a game where it's just kind of like this one where, okay, we just weren't there. We weren't there mentally. We weren't there, physically. Again, I think the big thing is, let's go on. It's over. Let's move on. And that's what you're thinking is.
Yeah. Learn from it. Right. Make sure you take what you can take from it. Right. And then understand that wasn't us on Friday. Yeah. That I don't know who that team was. But that's not how we've been, all through spring, summer, through our scrimmages, in week one. It was just one of those games where we just couldn't get out of our own way, and it snowballed. And so understanding, let's go in, let's fix it. Let's get back on track, and we're going to be okay. We're a really talented football team. I tell our guys all the time, we're talented enough to beat a whole lot of people. And, we're young enough that if we don't handle it the right way, we can get beat by a whole lot of people. We aren't talented enough to just roll the ball out and go beat people.
Yeah.
But we're talented enough when we go out and we execute, we can beat them. And so, really for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be about getting back to basics, getting back to, the little things that have made us successful through our scrimmages and through our games, and, get back on track, and we're going to be just fine.
Well, with the coaching staff I know that's out there, you will be fine for sure. And looking forward to that Grace Baptist game that's coming up. Now, I'm going to turn the keys over now. You take off your coaching helmet and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to talk about the upcoming schedule, and I'll probably have all these wrong, so I know there's no way but anyway, we've got golf is big coming up. I think they're playing against Summertown. Cross country has a meet on September 2nd at 4. Tennis again on September 2nd at 4 o'clock. There's a lot of sports going on. I mean, there's nothing. And then I haven't even gotten to the volleyball schedule. Cross country, 4:30 on the 2nd. You got JV and varsity as well. Big game. This is JV. I'm pretty sure because I'm going to be at that game. Eagleville at MTCS for volleyball. That's junior varsity middle school. Football would be. Let's see. Is this JV September 2nd? I'm not sure. I'm reading that right.
Brother, middle school, elementary.
Yeah. Okay. You've got soccer, and then let's go to volleyball here a little bit. There's too many games to try to, because you wouldn't remember them if I even told you what the dates are. Let's see. You've got a tennis match on the 4th against Oakland. Golf plays September 4th. PCA, MTCS volleyball. Now that's another team. Talking about the volleyball team. They're strong in middle school and they're strong in high school. They just can kind of continue to just keep moving on and going. I mean, they're pretty talented.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. My daughter loves to go watch the volleyball girls play, and there's a lot of cheerleaders that play on that team as well. And so my daughter's kind of been adopted by our cheer program. And so we were at the PCA game at home last week. Definitely going to try and make it over to PCA to watch them play again. They're fun to watch. They play hard. They execute well. I enjoy watching them. I joke still that I don't really know a whole lot about volleyball, right? I've learned, there was a couple calls that I actually knew why people were upset last time. But there's still a couple that, I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know what happened.
That's like with me with soccer. It doesn't matter. I still don't know the game well enough to tell you where midfield or, whether they're offsides and that kind of thing. We're going to try, since you're going to be out somewhere next week because you got the week off. We'll just put him on the spot right now. We're going to try to have a volleyball coach here, right?
Absolutely. I'll reach out to Nicole and see if we can get her in here. And
she's a great girl. If anybody will be willing to come, it'll be her, I think,
Yeah.
So we'll just go ahead and plan that. And good luck. Have a good week this week on the field. MTCS is in such great shape with the coaching staff, you and the coaching staff, and I know you'll get them ready and just go by, forget this one. Just let it go.
Yep.
What's that song on Frozen? Let it go.
Yeah,
Christian Peterson has been our guest here on the Cougar Corner, as he is each Saturday. But next week, he's going to take it. We're going to give him a day off. And hopefully we'll talk about MTCS volleyball next week. And that's going to do it for us. Coach,
I appreciate you having me.
Have a good Labor Day. When's the fall festival? It's getting close, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be, I want to say it's in September. Don't get me saying it.
That's okay.
Don't get me lying.
You'll need to know by the time you come back.
Absolutely.
Do your research. But I know it's a good time. That's always a great one. So look forward to that. That'll be sometime in September. All right, for Coach Peterson, this is John Dinkins for Cougar Corner. Until next week, so long, everybody.